Hello everybody, this is tswails here on tswails.com, and this is your weather briefing, and it is Tuesday night here in the Midwest. And what we're going to start with are some of the rain totals from strong storms that rolled across parts of the Midwest on Monday night. You can see those hammered parts of central and northeastern Iowa. That went on into southwestern Wisconsin, extreme northern Illinois. A lot of places picking up 1 to 2 inches of rain in those thunderstorms. Here on this particular chart, you can see Waterloo and Dubuque. There's your Highway 20 line there, and that's where the bigger totals were definitely found. And down to the south, once again, you get south of Interstate 80, very little in the way of precipitation. Temperatures down that way too warm. The atmosphere just plain old capped, and that is why the thunderstorms formed in this area here closer to a warm front and the forcing that was associated with that. But some pretty big time rain totals, and a lot of it came down in a very short time. Now, here's the temperatures, and after highs in the 80s tonight at 9 o'clock, still holding in the 70s around Iowa and points on to the south and east. What's really noticeable, though, is the moisture. Those dew points right now, 70 to 75 degrees, very sticky air mass, pretty tropical, and that covers a large portion of the central United States right down into the Gulf of Mexico. So we do have the Gulf open for moisture, open for business, as we say in my job. And this southwestern trough here and the jet stream around that is what is tugging that moisture into the Midwest. It's also pulling up the moist and warm air. And so that's caused our temperatures to be pretty toasty today, and this pattern is going to hold into Thursday. So I'm expecting more showers and thunderstorms on a scattered basis, but more than anything, I think you're going to notice the warm, humid conditions from now through Thursday. So talking about those thunderstorms, where's the best chances for those? Well, we've got the moisture in place, but you got to have some forcing. And the best forcing is going to be across northern Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin right in here. And that's where this moisture is pooling. You can see the PWATs here, the water vapor in the atmosphere, over 2 inches. Extremely high number. In fact, it's 200% above what it should be at this time of year. So twice the amount of moisture that you would expect to see. And that should lead to those strong storms and heavy rains that we're anticipating in extreme northern Iowa, parts of Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Let's see if we can't get to the satellite here, and there it is. And holy cow, check this out. Here's Iowa, and just to the northwest, look at that big MCS. A monster thunderstorm complex has formed up there, and that is expected to ride east. So later tonight, I'm expecting things to get going in northern Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Just how far south that gets, a little bit debatable, but roughly Highway 20. So it's this quarter right up in here that's going to see more heavy rains later on tonight. But that satellite is pretty ominous, to say the least. So here's what our model is anticipating. And as we get towards later tonight and into tomorrow morning, these thunderstorms you see here are going to start marching off to the east. And then finally, by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, they're starting to fall apart once again. That's pretty common. Then we get to tomorrow evening. Things have dried out across most of Iowa, Illinois. Temperature is going to be in the mid or upper 80s for another very warm day. And then tomorrow night, the low-level jet kicks in on that boundary, and new thunderstorms will be forming, and those are expected to work their way out of here again on Thursday morning, so we should have a lull. Finally, though, the last piece of this system comes at us, and notice here towards evening, bam, new storms take off along a cold front, and those will advance on to the east-southeast, and then finally the winds turn in from the northwest, and that shuts down the rains. But by that time, there's going to be some places that have some hefty totals across the upper Midwest. This is what the Weather Prediction Center is forecasting for rainfall, and you can see a broad swath of another 2 to 3 inches of rain. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some local 4-inch totals up that way, maybe 5 in a few spots. But a pretty sharp cutoff here. Once you get to the south, you start getting into that capped air once again, and the rain totals will be much lower across the southern half of my viewing area, and a lot of what falls there won't actually occur until sometime on Thursday when that cold front comes on through. And here we're looking at some temperatures, and as you can see, we're going to go back here just a little bit. This is tomorrow afternoon. Most of the readings are somewhere in the low to mid 80s. Wouldn't shock me though to see a few spots, especially in the south, somewhat warmer than that. But you throw in that humidity, it's going to feel more like 90 degrees in some parts of the Midwest. And this is the 5-day temperature anomalies. And so we're looking at the day 5 through 10 period here. and that's going to take us out all the way through the 20th. So the 15th through the 20th of September, look at all the warmth that's over the central part of the country. And that actually is going to be around for the next 5 days too. Not quite as pronounced, but still well above normal temperatures here in the Midwest. So we've got some warm days coming, and these thunderstorms are expected to work across the north late tonight and very early in the day on Monday. The next round not due to arrive until Wednesday night. And then finally the last batch heads on out of here on Thursday, and Friday should be a real nice day. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you later.